set up, hands straight down, externally rotating my femurs, armpits to pelvis, crown to the ceiling. I pull on the bar to take the slack out of the bar, and then I just push the world away. This weekend I went to a strength seminar with Sebastian Oreb, or at Australian Strength Coach on Instagram, and Hattie Boydell. He trains some of the strongest people in the world. And I want to take you through what I learned at the seminar when it comes to the Sumo Deadlift. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Let's jump into the video. First thing that we need to set up is our feet. Now when we're doing sumo, there's no real perfect stance, but just feel what's comfortable. So for me, I kind of like to go out here. And this is just inside the collars, the first collars of the barbell. That feels best for me. Some people may feel better narrower. So that's my feet set up, and this is the position that I like. Secondly, where do we put our hands? Hands go straight down. That's going to be the shortest path that you have to travel. If your arms are straight, then you just go from here and you stand up. If they're wider, let's say here, which is horrific technique, but let's say here, then we have to go all the way up here. So you're having to do more range of motion. We want to do as less range of motion as possible without cheating. And to achieve that, arms go straight down. Now with the grip, you can go double over, or you can go over under on each side. Or you can call that the baseball bat grip or baseball grip, because if you think of hitting a baseball, bang, there we go, we've got one of the grips. We're hitting the other way, baseball grip, bang, here's the other grip. So I like to put my stronger hand over top and my weaker hand underneath, but it doesn't really matter, just do whatever's comfortable for you. So I have my right hand over and I have my left hand underneath. Now my feet and my hands are set up. So what do we do from here? The third thing that we have to make sure that we do is corkscrew our feet. Externally rotate the femurs. Now that's going to help us line up our knees with our toes, because that's what we need to achieve. And with our feet so wide, it's really easy to forget when you lift that your knees have to externally rotate. You have to corkscrew the floor, because if you're not corkscrewing the floor and you're thinking of externally rotating your femurs, then you've got a high chance of your knees coming in, which is no good. We don't want to internally rotate. We don't want knee valgus. That is not a strong position. That is not stable. We want to be externally rotating and being nice and upright. So once we have that locked down with our feet, we can start to get our setup. So when we're in here, a cue that I learned in the weekend is armpits to pelvis. Armpits down to our pelvis. And when we drive our armpits down to our pelvis, that engages our lats. And the lats are a muscle that attach to the spine, so it's going to help strengthen our spine. It's going to give us spine stability so that we can be nice and strong. Now, once we have armpits to pelvis, we go crown of the head to the ceiling. Now, we don't want to just think look up, because if we look up, you can overextend. What we want to think is crown of the head, so the top of our head to the ceiling. So if we can imagine ourselves as a puppet and we have a string attached to the top of our head, think of pulling that up and think of how taller that makes. This is a great way to ensure that we have a neutral spine when we're deadlifting. Now the last cue that we're going to do before we lift off is to take the slack out of the bar. So we're down here, arms are straight down, armpits to pelvis, crown of the head to the ceiling. Now, if we're in this position and we just lift off from here, then we're going to go from a position where our body's not tight and there's slack. So we don't want to go from here, even though we've got the perfect setup, and just start pulling. We want to pull on the bar just until it feels like it's going to lift off the ground, and then we drive. So we want to take the slack out of the bar. We want our body to be as tight as possible. So a tight body meets a tight bar, and then we just push the world away. Let me show you what a rep's going to look like. So feet set up, hands straight down, externally rotating my femurs, armpits to pelvis, crown to the ceiling. I pull on the bar to take the slack out of the bar, and then I just push the world away. And coming down. Now let me go over that again. Feet set up, hands straight down, externally rotating the femurs, armpits to pelvis, crown to the ceiling, pulling on the bar, take the slack out, and then we just drive. One thing that we also have to consider is the barbell needs to stay as close as we can to our body. So as we're doing the sumo, it should literally be scraping up our leg as we pull the deadlift. That's why a lot of powerlifters get sleeves to put on their shins or shin guards, shin pads, so that they don't bleed all the time. Because there's a lot of people that bleed when they do deadlifts because they're literally pulling the skin off as they do their sumos. Doing the techniques in this video is going to help you become as strong as possible and lift the sumo deadlift with the best form that you can. And these technique tips help me lift 240 kg on the weekend, which is over 2.6 my body weight. My PB before that was 222.5. Now I jumped 17.5 kilos in that PB just from making these technique shifts. I hope this video helps you out like it helped me achieve 240 kg for one. I never thought I'd lift 240, but now I'm like, all right, let's go 3 times body weight. Let's go for 270. If this video did help you, please consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video. Let's go.